Good evening to you all. It's really a great honor for me to be the first Filipina and the first from the ASEAN region to receive this very prestigious award. I thank the L'Oreal and UNESCO, Professor Blogel and the jury for recognizing our work on toxins. And I wish to thank also my parents for really for being our inspiration. And I thank my brothers and sisters who are here. And my collaborator, Dr. Oliveira, with whom we worked on the toxin for many years, and my mentors in college and in graduate school.
L'UNESCO récompense la recherche dans les sciences de la vie, vie humaine, vie sans plus attendre. Madame Irina Bokova, directrice générale de l'UNESCO, et Sir Lindsay Owen-Jones, président de L'Oréal et de la fondation d'entreprise L'Oréal.
Président de L'Oréal, Monsieur le Président fondateur du prix, Monsieur le Président du jury international, Excellences, Mesdames et Messieurs, c'est pour moi qui me permet de rappeler que l'égalité entre les sexes est un facteur central du progrès, aussi bien économique que social et humain, à la marche du monde. Mesdames et Messieurs, c'est la science qui nous rassemble ce soir. J'ai l'intime conviction qu'en l'état actuel du monde que nous avons en partage, l'Asie et le Pacifique, professeur Anne Desjean-Assemin de France, lauréat pour l'Europe, professeur Alexandra Bravo du Mexique, lauréat pour l'Amérique latine, et professeur Hélène Fuchs des États-Unis d'Amérique, lauréat pour l'Amérique du Nord. Universelle. Elle ne connaît ni barrières ni frontières. Chacun et chacune peut choisir d'apporter sa contribution à la science, tout comme chacun et chacune doit bénéficier des résultats de la science. Permettez-moi, en 2008, on reçu le prix Nobel en 2009. Scientifique hors pair, Vous êtes aussi des femmes engagées dans les combats de votre époque. Vous êtes également des professeurs et vous transmettez votre passion de la recherche à des milliers de jeunes filles comme celles qui ont reçu hier après-midi la bourse internationale UNESCO L'Oréal et qui s'apprêtent à suivre votre exemple.
Nous sommes sensibles à votre présence avec nous ici ce soir. Comme vous avez déjà pu le constater, je retrouvais avec beaucoup de plaisir mon amie Christine Ockrent, qui, depuis plusieurs années, anime tout à fait gracieusement notre cérémonie avec le talent, la gentillesse, qui me permet d'ajouter de l'élégance, que vous lui connaissez. Et c'est l'occasion pour moi, si vous dire un grand merci du fond du cœur, je tiens à saluer avec beaucoup de chaleur et d'affection, grâce à cette personnalité hors du commun et à la hauteur de vos exigences, que nos prix ont atteint aujourd'hui une réputation indiscutable au sein de la communauté scientifique mondiale. Mais j'ajouterai que vous n'avez pas du tout dévié de notre vision de départ, c'est-à-dire consacrer les réussites de femmes scientifiques exceptionnelles avec les prix L'Oréal UNESCO, encourager les talents promoteurs avec de nombreuses bourses nationales et internationales, toujours bien sûr en partenariat avec l'UNESCO, et peut-être, on l'espère, ensemble, susciter auprès des plus jeunes des vocations scientifiques futures. Tout cela a magnifiquement progressé. Mais il y a mieux. 2010 va marquer, j'en suis sûr, une nouvelle étape dans notre histoire, un nouvel élan, avec l'arrivée de Mme Irina Bokova, la nouvelle directrice générale de l'UNESCO, dont le parcours volontaire et brillant force notre admiration. Impressionné par votre engagement, votre efficacité, votre énergie, votre volonté de faire progresser les choses. La plupart des grandes questions que nous abordons à travers le programme, l'égalité des sexes, le droit à l'éducation, la mise en lumière des talents, la diversité des cultures,
sur la culture est issue du cacao. On passe maintenant aux autres. Il est à noter que plusieurs d'entre elles vont pouvoir bénéficier de l'accueil d'universités ou de laboratoires français. C'est votre cas. Alors de quoi parlez-vous? Est-ce que vous parlez de sciences du matin au soir ou est-ce que vous parlez
de la vie quotidienne et des collaborations en Angleterre pour faire d'autres tests qu'on ne fait pas à Perpignan? Comment ça collaborer déjà?
Et donc ça prouve que la mondialisation de la recherche passe aussi par des méthodes de travail qui sont plus rapides entre vous, ne serait-ce que grâce au réseau que vous tissez entre vous.
Oui.
Et concrètement,
Toujours à l'Institut Pasteur, comment on cherche les financements pour les recherches, comment on fait pour publier. Déjà, on a été formés, donc ça va nous apporter beaucoup de choses.
bravo, je crois en tout cas qu'on peut encore une fois. It's a great pleasure to welcome you again in this ceremony. To decide who are the happy few who will receive the prize this year. Was it particularly difficult this year, or just as usual?
Well, the jury comes from all continents, and half of the jury, or more than half of the jury, are women who have won the prize. So this, of course, gives us a great level of competence without which we couldn't work. There are also different disciplines represented, so that we can have a very good overview of all.
It has already also a laureate from 2008 from Israel. That was who got the Nobel Prize for chemistry last year.
To summarize Ashika Ayubi's accomplishments, and she worked with bilharzia and schistosomes, which is a very abundant tropical disease. It is, after malaria, the most abundant tropical disease. Affects particularly children. About 20,000 die each year. It's a very complicated story in how this parasite develops. It's actually a worm that is about 1 centimeter long and that lives in humans in the vasculature, in the lung, in the kidney, in the liver. And there it makes eggs, and the eggs are then getting into the water. It has to be warm water, the tropical, sweet water, not salt water. And there the eggs develop into little larvae, just in the sweet water. And then they infect a snail. And the snail then is infected by these little larvae, and then develops further and further, and then it gets out of the snail, this the larvae, and then it infects humans, and this completes the cycle. Now there is a drug against bilharzia that has been made by Bayer that is actually very effective, but it does not protect people from reinfection. And so the big challenge in the field is to make a vaccine. And what Ashika really has done, she has defined several surface proteins that could be used as antigens to make a vaccine and therefore give a more permanent protection from the infection. Incidentally, it's a very old disease. You can see that even mummies, Egyptian mummies, were already infected with bilharzia.
Really, L'Oréal UNESCO pour ce prix qui m'a permis de venir ici en France, car étant un fruit de l'emblème de la mission humanitaire française en Égypte, je sème à tout vent, je suis si heureuse d'être en France et de dire ouvertement devant tout le monde, merci, oui merci. C'est tchécoslovaque et surtout l'Institut de génétique moléculaire à Prague, où j'ai fait mes études menant au doctorat de l'immunologie. Si bien armée, c'est ainsi que j'ai pu retourner dans mon pays, mon cher pays, certes le berceau de la civilisation, certes celui qui a montré au monde entier le chemin à suivre, mais maintenant trébuche, essayons de se relever. Donc, bien armée, j'ai pu résoudre tous les problèmes qu'il fallait et affronter des étapes souvent infranchissables d'une carrière scientifique dans un pays qui veut avancer, qui veut se développer. Et j'ai pu, parce que j'étais très bien armée, très bien éduquée, et introduire maintenant la science de l'immunologie dans toutes les universités d'Égypte et de là dans les pays arabes. J'ai pu diriger rien moins qu'une centaine d'étudiants, la plupart des femmes, vers les études menant au magistère et au doctorat en immunologie et biologie parasitaire. Et surtout faire des études qui, j'espère, très prochainement ouvriront la voie à un vaccin contre une maladie qui est très importante et très dangereuse, ou un vaccin contre la bilharziose qui est source de tant de maux dans les pays arabes et les pays d'Afrique. Je demande aux organisations internationales de suivre le modèle superbe de l'UNESCO et de faire tout le possible, de donner tout le soutien, tout le support matériel et scientifique pour le développement d'un remède définitif. Il est temps maintenant de mettre fin aux maladies de l'humanité, surtout le paludisme et la schistosomiase. Vers ces buts magnifiques, L'Oréal UNESCO et surtout ce prix a fait tant et si bien que vraiment il est difficile pour moi d'assez dire merci.
Lourdes Cruz is a researcher at the Marine Science Institute, University of the Philippines, Diliman, Quezon City. So what is she working on?
We are staying with snails, with escargot, but these are snails that Lourdes worked on that are saltwater snails. And they are not serving as hosts, as in the case of bilharzia or schistosomes, but they have empowered themselves with a little harpoon that can be ejected out of the snail and have a collection of neurotoxins, nerve poisons, that is truly remarkable. And of course, the little fish that is hit by this little harpoon is then paralyzed, and the snail opens the mouth, and the little fish is, of course, consumed. You have in the movie, you will see it, but they didn't show the gruesome consummation of the little fish. They left that out. But in any case, these toxins that have been identified, and there are thousands and thousands of different toxins, they are extremely powerful probes to probe the function of ion channels in the brain. As you know, we have many, many ion channels in the brain which allow us to think and to act. And these toxins, what she's doing in charitable activity, she will donate most of her prize for a charity that she has developed for rural children, so that they can be educated, that they have a chance. And this, I think, is very noble. And I would like to congratulate Lourdes not only for this magnificent work in science, but also for her great charity.
That was the beginning of it.
There was a time when we were 5 in college, and my father was the only one who's working.
He was a chemist, and he told us that education is very important. It's something that no one can take away from you. In high school, I really liked science, and that was my only choice. So, this is the most dangerous of all the cone snails. What kills people are called peptides. It can reach the muscles that are important for breathing, so people can no longer breathe. So we wanted to know what in the venom of these organisms can kill people, so that's why we started studying the venom. It turns out that the venom contains not only paralytic toxins, but many other components. They act in the central nervous system, in the calcium channels in the brain, and in the spinal cord. The importance of our work is that we provided the neuroscientists with tools to study the brain. Conopeptides are now being explored as possible drugs, not only for pain, but for epilepsy, cardiac disorders, Parkinson's, maybe even schizophrenia. The Philippines needs help, and my work will be more significantly done here. And then I can also train Filipino students. I always tell them that you have to be better than us, otherwise Philippine science won't improve. I was full-time in the lab, almost 24 hours, most of the time I'll be there. My priorities have changed. They're watching us towards retirement. One starts thinking, what have I really contributed to the country? So I start to think, maybe I need to do something that will really help people. This is an opportunity to bring science and technology to the community, and like what we are doing now for the ITAS. They are now learning science, learning about biodiversity, conservation, taxonomy. I want to use the L'Oreal money to establish a base for the Pluraling program that we have in Bataan, where the ITAS can participate in doing research on their traditional medicine. That's really a dream for me. Now, we want to bring science to the people. Good evening to you all. It's really a great honor for me to be the first Filipina and the first from the ASEAN region to receive this very prestigious award. I thank the L'Oreal and UNESCO, Professor Blobel and the jury for recognizing our work on conus toxins. And I wish to thank also my parents for really, for being our inspiration. And I thank my brothers and sisters who are here. And my collaborator, Dr. Oliveira, with whom we worked on the toxin for many years, and my mentors in college and in graduate school at the University of the Philippines and the University of Iowa. I think it's very important for us to help conserve biodiversity, particularly in rural areas, and we should involve the communities in doing this. The world can only be saved, I think, if we really protect the environment, conserve biodiversity, and assure their sustainable utilization. So I hope this award will serve as an inspiration for the younger scientists in our country to pursue science and later use this for the benefit of humanity. Thank you.
We turn now to Latin America. What is her work about?
We are staying with toxins, like snail, the lure toxins, but this time elaborated by bacteria. We've all heard a lot about bacteria toxins in kids, you get diarrhea or something like this, and lots of bacteria toxins. But this is a toxin that only affects insects. It's rediscovered in Germany 10 years later, and this is why you ended up. It makes toxins that are specific for some insect species. And it has been, for a long time, people have isolated these toxins and have sprayed them. And of course, there is a much more effective way.
And then I changed, but I always get interested in science. But since I just let it down. I didn't know what it means to do research to become a scientist. I realized until I was in there, and I love it. The name of the bacteria is Bacillus thuringiensis, and this bacteria produce the insecticidal proteins that we are working with. BT is a family of bacteria that produce many different toxins. Each toxin kills only few insects. They are highly specific because they interact with different receptors that they are located in the surface of the made good cells. And humans do not have these receptors, and that's why I want to deeply thank L'Oréal UNESCO for this recognition. This award is very important, and right now means a lot to me. And it means a lot to me because all the questions that they send me, all the questions and all the interviews that they make force me to think about my life, my work, about everything I got. And then I realized that I have been very lucky, that in my life I have been surrounded by very nice people, and I got wonderful opportunities. And that moves me inside, that made me change already. And I think that I am more grateful now. I want to thank especially my husband, Mario Soberon, who is my love, is my best friend, is my principal collaborator and my confidant. Also my kids, Pablo and Emilio, they are so special to me, they are part of my life, they are so perfect, and they are my happiness. And what Mexico needs more is education. I understand that by winning this award, I will be compromised in promoting science in young women, and let me tell you that I will do it. And also that I will try to support the best as I can my university, to give back where I receive it, and I will try to keep working the best as I can, as I have been doing. And I want to finish with some words, maybe with some university. So I want to share those words with you. They also express how proud we are about our institution. Goya, Goya,
this work so
Well, other genre in China, in Asian countries, and what was known that after hepatitis B infection into the DNA of the liver. Depending on where it integrates, it can stimulate growth receptors and lead to the development of an oncogenic potential, namely to cancer. So the first one that she found was in fact the retinoid receptor that is also important for cosmetics. We've all heard about retinoic acid for wrinkles. But she found that this retinoid receptor fusion with hepatitis B virus can be treated with arsenic, as has been shown in China, or with retinoic acid. And so this is really an example of a targeted treatment of, admittedly, a small number of cancers.
C'est un grand honneur et beaucoup de bonheur que de recevoir ce prix d'Oréal Expo ce soir. Et je voudrais remercier tous les membres du jury et son président, le professeur Dr. Lebel. Ce prix parle de la reconnaissance des femmes dans la science. Et cette science-là, hommes et femmes, nous savons la faire et à thématiser dans le domaine biomédical, à nous inciter aux applications et dans les contraintes qui sont les leurs.
We talked about Nobel Prize in the White House. This is the greatest distinction.
Mindful of the fact that I grew up in a supportive environment. I had a father who was a geochemist and exemplified the importance of scientific rigor, hard work, originality, and collegiality to one's scientific profession. I had a mother who displayed extraordinary optimism and support for everything that I did. In watching her, I watched an elegant woman who took pride in everything she did, from her hair and her makeup to her dress, to her flower garden and her needlepoint and the homemade bread and the apple pies, to making and washing our clothes or vacuuming the house, helping me grow ammonia crystals in the basement, or working side by side to make copper enamel jewelry with me. For Women in Science, for this award, I'd like to thank Dr. Global, my colleague and friend and mentor to me, and the jury members for their support. And I'm truly grateful and humbled by this award. Thank you very much.
L'Oréal et l'UNESCO ont décidé cette année d'innover en leur offrant une sculpture pour l'asile des Philippines. formidable mérite encore beaucoup plus d'applaudissements, mais vous les retrouverez. Le 8 mars, Journée internationale des droits de la femme, un magazine leur sera consacré et sera diffusé à 17h. Et c'est donc ainsi que se termine. Madame la directrice générale, Sir Lindsay, professeur Popel, cette cérémonie donc des prix 2010 pour les femmes.
Pare, on time. Gutom na ako. Kakain ba?
I feel great. It's really great. And the whole week has been hectic but wonderful. It's like stepping into another world. Kasi, parang yata yun.
Pero the fact that you were recognized yung inyong efforts and all your contributions so is being recognized globally, yun ho ang malaking ano sa inyo ngayon.
Yeah, I hope this will help in our effort in trying to conserve biodiversity and having the communities participate in that effort.
Okay. Sige ho, salamat ho, Professor.